Hey guys, this is Dr. Hub. Today we look at the regression. So when two variables are correlated, they are correlated. So two variables are correlated. The value of one of the variable can be predicted from the value of the other. So one variable can be predicted. So it is predicted upon the second variable, from the value of the second variable using the regression technique. So this is done using the regression technique. So let's look at the independent variable. So first we look at the independent variable. So independent variable is nothing but the variable from which the other variable is calculated. So it is a variable from which the other variable is calculated. Next we look at the dependent variable. So the dependent variable, there is a variable from which the value is calculated. So value is calculated. So now let's look at the type of regressions. So first type will be the simple linear regression. The simple linear regression. So what does this mean? So in this, the value of one variable is used to predict the value of the other variable. So one variable is used to predict the second variable. So just tell this, let's assume this one variable is going to be y, and this is going to be predicted, who is used to predict another variable x. So the regressive equation is used for this purpose. So there is a regressive equation used for this purpose, and it is between the two variables. The equation is going to be y is equal to a plus bx, where a is a constant. So a is going to be a constant and called the intercept constant. So this is going to be the intercept constant, and b is going to be regression coefficient. So b is going to be the regression coefficient. Then we will look at the intercept constant. Is a point where, so the intercept, there is an intercept constant. It is a point where the y-axis is intercepted by the regression line. It is intercepted by the regression line. Next, we will look at the multiple linear regression. So multiple linear regression. So in multiple linear regression, in this, more than one variable is used to predict the expected value. So more than one variable is used to predict the expected value of another variable. So greater than one variable is used to predict the second variable, and here we are calling this as y. So the expected value is going to be y is equal to a plus b1 x1 plus b2 x2 to bn xn. So where b1 b2 is b1 b2, they are nothing but is classified as bn. To bn, they are represent different regression coefficients. So they are different regression coefficient, whereas the x1, x2, xn, they represent variables. So the x1, x2 to the xn, they represent the variables. Lastly, we are going to look at the logistic regression. So in terms of logistic regression, in some situations we are not interested in the numerical outcome. So numerical outcome is not required, numerical outcome. In many situations it is not that important, that like risks. But there is a preference of getting a nominal or a category 1. So we have to get a nominal or a categorical 1. So what do you mean by a nominal or categorical 1? So by this we mean whether there is a death or the person is going to survive, or developing a disease or not developing a disease. So you can develop or you can not develop the disease. So here the relationship between the variables will not be linear. So relation is not equal to linear, and so the relation between the variables will not be linear. One of the outcome from the survival to death in relationship with the risk factors can be changing suddenly. So the risk factors, it can change, and the outcomes are represented by, outcomes can be 0 and 1. So using the mathematical logical function, so by using the mathematical logical function, it can be transformed into the linear regression data such that the values, so there's a linear regression data. So what is done is, the values of the variable y are limited to the range. So variable. So we'll look at variable y. So this is limited to the range 0 to 1, and which would give us the probability of y occurring for the given values. For the probability, range is going to be 0 to 1. This would give us the probability of y. There is a probability of y. So y will occur for the given values of variable x. For given value of variable x.